Okay, this is the speech by Saif Islam. It was last night, the eve of the 1st of September, as published on mathaba.net. I'm now speaking to you from the outskirts of Tripoli. I would like to reassure our brothers everywhere that now, just gone noon, we passed by Al-Azaziyah. We met the youth over there. We also met our brothers in Urshifana. We also met some people from Nahwahi El-Arba'a. We also visited the areas adjacent to Tripoli. We have seen people today in high spirits, and we also met some youth from the inner areas, such as those from Abu Slim and also those from El Hadba. They reassured me of the situation on the inside. I would like to reassure people that we are present, everything is fine, and the struggle is ongoing and that victory is near. Today our brothers also relayed me a message that there was a big tribal meeting in Warfala and Bani Walid in which they decided to reply to the verbal threats that were received from the armed rebels and rats that said that they must surrender or we will use military force to storm into Bani Walid. They took a majority decision. To hell with you, and to hell with NATO. This is our country, and we live and die on it. Warfala is not scared of you or your allies, NATO. We are foregoing with the struggle and resistance until victory. Despite NATO hitting several houses inside the city and killing whole families inside the city, but they have buried their martyrs, and this has only increased their resolve. As for the area of Fezzan, that's in the south, this is completely united with all its tribes in its loyalty to the leader. They also had a collection of meetings today with the same conclusion, that no one is scared and that no one will surrender. They also said that our grandfathers and parents fought the Italian colonial forces when they were barefooted and naked. Not today. As for the threats against Sirte, they have replied to them. Try and enter Sirte. You think that entering Sirte is a walk in the park? Sirte has more than 20,000 armed youth fully equipped to defend it and are ready. We have bypassed Sirte by several stages. We are on our way to victories and claiming areas, and they are talking of taking over Sirte. This is a media campaign to distort public perception and to create chaos and confusion. We would like to also tell the other cities that we are defiant, and that the leadership is in good health, and that the leader himself is well, and that we are happy and everything is normal, drinking tea and coffee, and that we are in our country defending it. There is also another message to our brothers in Tobruk, Al-Baida, Benghazi, El-Marj, Zlitan, Tripoli, that they should be prepared to move now. Any place that is infested with rats, then you shouldn't stand there. You need to attack them. Checkpoints should also be attacked and destroyed. You need to bleed them day and night until this country is cleared from these armed rebels. All of you are responsible, and your leadership is responsible for you. All Libyans are Muammar al-Gaddafi. All Libyans are Saif al-Islam. All Libyans are Khamis Muammar. Wherever you find the enemy, you must strike. The enemy is weak, and they have sustained great losses, and they are healing their wounds. Bab al-Azaziyah, to those liars, is a military base that has been raised with 64 NATO sortie missions over the last 7 months, and this military base is open to the masses. We have withdrawn our military personnel from there in anticipation of NATO airstrikes there on a daily basis. Entering and leaving Bab al-Azaziyah doesn't mean anything at all. Every day there are festivities and musical acts going on there, and people have set up tents there. It has been razed to the ground, and all military equipment has been moved elsewhere. These armed rebels are trying to create psychological warfare, scare and confuse people. I would like to tell people not to be afraid and that the military is well. The armed depots are in good form. All the tribes that have received threats, Tarhuna, Kums, Bani Walid, Sirte, Urshifana, Nahawiya el-Arba, el-Ejilat, all the tribes I have contacted personally and have affirmed that we have received threats. You either surrender or we will kill you. And their response was that this is our country which we will not neglect, and that we will fight to the last bullet. Everything is fine, alhamdulillah, and victory is forthcoming very soon, inshallah. This is our country. They're the ones that will be exiled and will have to leave along with their stooges, NATO, France, etc. Should pack their bags and leave. The best proof of this is that these convoys of traitors and armed rebels was destroyed on Al-Shat Street in Tripoli. The people of Tripoli know this story, the presence of foreign mercenaries and fighters that aren't even Arab amongst this convoy that was destroyed. They have fought British Special Forces to fight alongside them that has been admitted by them, and Italians and French and other entities that are fighting with them for money. As for us, we are fighting for the sake of Libya and for the people of Libya on our land. As for our brothers that have made taped confessions, they've rung me later on to say that their daughters and wives were taken hostages under gunpoint, and that these confessions were under duress, that they were told to either say what they were told, or be that their family would be filtered off, that is, killed. This doesn't mean anything. They've stormed into a few key figures in the Libyan government whilst away on their farms, who've woken up to these armed rebels surrounding them, and they were taken as captives, and were told, "You either say as we do, or we will kill your sons and daughters." This is one of the dirty tricks of the armed rebels, who have no manners. As for NATO, you are the dumbest alliance in the world, and that you are stupid people. Even the individual that you have installed and is persistent on operations in Tripoli, was he not in Al-Qaeda? Wasn't he captured by the CIA and handed over to Libya? Then we forgave him, and that he is a worldwide wanted terrorist. He is there now with his terrorist accomplices and friends leading operations. You stupid people are now backing these snakes, and hopefully they will backfire on you. In conclusion, I would like to reassure you and to confirm to our people that this stuff is true, that during my visit to Warshafana, Nahawi el-Arba'a and Al-Azaziyah, the rats were nowhere to be seen, and that the checkpoints were vacant. I would like to tell our people that are afraid and scared indoors not to be so, and to go out and to resist and to face the enemy, day and night. Day and night the people of Abu Slim, El-Hadba, and martyrs of Sidi Abdul Jalil and the 2nd of March district and other neighborhoods to organize and arm themselves and to continue the fight, and that we are coming to liberate Green Square, God willing, inshallah, and that we are fine and victory or death, and God is great. Allahu Akbar.